And this is going to require some team participation. So unless there's lots of noise, I think, Julie, if you're still doing this,
my bad.
I'm okay with noise because I want you guys to be able to just like answer whenever. So this is the art of Scrum. The personal development that I have been working on finished was the art of doing twice the work in half the time. And this system was developed for really it's product management. It was meant for software companies to really estimate and focus on what's important to get products out faster and to work more effectively as a team. So even though we are individual business owners, there is still this huge community of team. And so I'm trying to figure out exactly how to work this into what we do. I think it can get totally done, but I want to as well on ideas of how we can really translate this, because I see a couple different visions. So we're going to So Scrum, I'll just list out the steps. There are different roles. So the two main people in the Scrum Group is the product owner. So this is the person who is making a backlog of all the tasks that the group needs to accomplish. So any task that has to deal with coaching, has to deal with moving your business forward, has to deal with anything we would do, that would be the product owner who would come up with that list. In our case, we are our own bosses. And so I feel like we're going to kind of wear multiple hats. We're going to do this. Or for our specific Scrum group, I'm going to be both of the roles. So normally these are different people because they do have specific goals, but for the sake of getting this on the ground running in this first time we're ever using a Scrum process to push, I want to make sure list of tasks to be done. Okay. I want to make sure that I just kind of do it so that we have it managed. And then hopefully by the next time we go to do a sprint, someone else has read this book and they can take in these roles and help me out. So making a list of all the things that we can do, every single task, and being really from the eyes of the product owner. So who are we trying to deliver this to, or what's our finished goal? With that in mind of what is it like our challengers want? What is it we really need to achieve right now? What is it we really need to achieve for our product? That's the mindset of the product. Then there is also the Scrum Master. So definitely that's more the role that I think I would be, and I will stay in this time as well, is the person who eliminates waste. So the Scrum Master is in charge of kind of managing everything, figuring out someone's wrestling, figuring out what is the most effective parts that we can work on. So that whole phrase of 80, I keep getting this statistic wrong. 80% of your efforts, only 20% is what actually gets you the results. So this Scrum Master is the person who says, this is the 20% we're focusing on, and keeps us on task so that what we decide from our list of everything we make is our 20% that we are going to action now and focus in on and sprint with. That's what we're in charge of as a Scrum Master. And the way that this works best is in teams of 3 to 9. So since we have a bigger group, I want to split us in half because I want to do these calls every single day that are really, really quick. I want us all to be able to just talk, say where we're going, and then get out of it so that we can really be productive in our businesses. And by the end of this Scrum, and by using Scrum, this is essentially just a different way to do a vitals accountability group. So really, I think what we're going to find when we Scrum this is that the vitals are most vital. That's the work, and that we need to do them every day. And this is going to be just a habit creator of making it exciting and using the resources of our other teammates, because some of us are new, some of us are a little bit older in this, but we're all still learning. And if we're all still growing, we can help each other quicker if we are using our resources and cross-referencing and touching base more often with each other. So essentially our Scrum group is now our little success pod. So the first step that we would do, first action, would be to create and prioritize our product backlog. This is our roadmap of coaching. Like I said, every single thing, our backlog of tasks. So it's sending an invite, it's crafting a post, it's creating our own sneak peek. So some things are big and they might have more tasks underneath them, and some might just be straightforward. It just be an invite. That's one of your tasks. Once we have that log, we want to prioritize it by what is most important, what's going to move us forward, what is the minimum that we need to do, and what is of the most value. So kind of eliminating that waste and planning things out. So something I thought was really cool, and I'm totally gonna say this wrong, I think it's the Fibonacci sequence is what it's called. Or if you've ever heard of the golden ratio. People are horrible at estimating time that it takes to do projects. And so that was the number one thing with this, is that these product designers were saying they were going to take a year to do a project, and it would take so much longer because they really didn't estimate the work. Or we're just horrible at time and saying this will take me an hour or 15 minutes. So instead of using time of our day or whatever to make things relative and understand how much time a project or invites or whatever is going to take us, you use the Fibonacci sequence. And I suck, as much as I love numbers, I suck at math, so I'm totally going to do this wrong. I should have written down some of the numbers. Oh, I did. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. That's the Fibonacci sequence, and it goes on. And so it's that playing with adding the difference between the number you last said to jump to the next. So it's all relative, and you can really think of the difference between a 5 and an 8. But if you think of the difference between a 5 and a 6, it's harder to visualize. But a 5 and an 8 is really clear. Same with the difference between a 1 and a 2 and a 3 to a 5. We know what those jumps are like. And it's just the way that our brain thinks. It's that golden ratio of 2 to 1 that we're attracted to as humans. And if you ever see those YouTube videos where people are like, I know what number you're going to think of. They give you 2 numbers. So they would like give you 5 and they know that you're going to pick, or 5 and 13, and they know you're going to pick 8 because that's the middle number. So it's just all this psychological, that's how we compare things, is this golden ratio. So I don't know that we're going to do this because this is a key part in estimating the work. And normally with Scrum, the idea is that you don't know your deadline. You don't know your deadline until you're working, because you're using this prioritizing system. You're giving everything a weight or a value of how much time it's going to take you. And then you sprint for a week, for 2 weeks, however long, and you go through whatever you get done. And once that's done, you look at the work you did, you point up all the value that you said you did or did actually do, and that's your velocity that you went. So in that week's time and 2 weeks' time, whatever it was, you can say we went 57 points. So we want to get faster next time, or we want to do the same. You don't want to go backwards. So then you look at your product log and backlog and everything that you still have to do, and you figure out how can you do 57 points, or how can you do much more faster and better the next time. And you strategize, and you're constantly reevaluating and resetting your pace. So in this specific push, we can't really do that because we have a deadline already given to us. But that doesn't mean that we can't still use it, be mindful, and still look at our own velocity of how fast am I going in my business. And then you can use these numbers to say, when I went this fast, I made this much income growth. When I went this fast, I went to this rank. And you can use that to push yourself and be building faster, to be mindful of your actual growth, that you're not staying stagnant or growing in the same way in your business. But for us in this specific thing, I just don't think it's going to be very useful to focus on the estimating time and the saying our velocity for this. But it's a really cool part of Scrum, and I think it is worth diving into and understanding and using when you use this method for yourself and other times, or take this to your teams. Okay. So once you have your backlog, you have everything prioritized, and you have the weight that goes with it, that's when that velocity plans in. So you plan your sprint. So for us, we are going today to plan our sprint. We're going to figure out what tasks we need to do, really as a team kind of guideline. But also I'm going to encourage you to know your business, and that there might be some things you need to add to your backlog or take away for you specifically. Maybe you have resources that someone else needs to build to do this sprint. Maybe you don't have them and you need to build them. So you just don't know, and I want you to keep it still you, but we're all gonna try and kind of follow the same plan to sprint through this rank goal. So we are going to set those sprint goals, and then you start taking action. The huge thing with this team building, and this is the part I would love to hear because it's hard to think of, is that it is a very open, transparent, and visual, especially if you think of corporate worlds where typically the method of getting a project done is you write out every single step, and then one person's in charge of step 1, and then the next person's in charge of step 2 and 3 and 4 and so on, and it's all really disconnected, and you never really check in with each other, or you don't know how a project is going until the end, and then it fails. So this is just a gut check. This is just a turning point to keep us more accountable, more checked into the work we're actually doing, and more effective with it. So where was this thing? Oh, okay. So what they do in a typical Scrum, if this were like an office space, is they would have a Scrum board, which I tried to have here. So in our first category, it's to do, doing, done. So for us, these are gonna be what we start today. We're gonna figure out our to do, or maybe even what we're doing already. Maybe we'll have some things that are in there today because we should be doing our vitals today. And maybe we've already hit some SC and things are already moving towards this goal that we're working on. So I don't know how we make this transparent, shared as a group, but I will encourage you all to make your own Scrum board. And that's why I actually put these on my wall, was because I wanted to do it for me and my own visualization and my own gut check, as well as if you guys ever watched that video Ashley shared, I forget which network marketing guy it was, but his whole sprint, or 30 people in 30 days or 20 people in 30 days, he said, rally your family, rally whoever, Eric Ward. Rally everyone around you and let them know, I'm buckling down. This is my number 1. This comes first for now, because it's a sprint. It's not forever. It's just for this time, till this goal, till it's done. So for me, this is my accountability so that my husband can keep me accountable. They're like, hey babe, look, you have tons in your to-do and your doing isn't all that great, and you're done, there's nothing. So I need that there so he can see it and he can understand if I'm ignoring him. He can see me moving my work. And I think for a lot of us, this is great that sometimes our spouses don't really get it yet. And this is a really cool way to have transparency and help your relationship too, so that they understand the tasks you're doing, how much there is, because with Scrum, they do a sticky note for every single task, and then it's movable. Awesome. So have a Scrum board in your own house, and then we can share. Maybe for accountability, we'll just take pictures of our Scrum and kind of like fill each other in. Then the daily Scrum. So this is the number 1 thing that's I need from you guys, because this is what's really going to benefit you. It's that daily check-in, our daily accountability, that we're going to do the work we said. So in a Scrum, 15 minutes, whatever time, we'll figure that out tonight. It's probably going to be at night. I don't know if we want to do like 8:45 right before the team calls every night. But all we are going to do is I'm going to ask, what did you do since we talked last? What are you doing today? And what are you going to do by the time we talk next? And what's stopping you? So what I think those conversations are going to look like is just a very honest, what did you do since we talked last? I actually did my power hour. I added a coach to my team. I didn't do that. Whatever it is, I'm going to be very transparent in, this is the work we said we were going to do, and here's how much of it I did. Then what are you going to do till next time? Okay, I slacked on my invite, so tomorrow I'm going to do twice as many. Okay, I didn't get a coach yet, so tomorrow I'm specifically going to target coaches. Okay, I nailed it today. Tomorrow I'm going to duplicate exactly what I did. And then the third question, what is it that's holding you back? So I'm in a funk and I'm just not feeling great, whatever. Okay, what personal development will get you out of this? Here's a podcast. And the reason we do this in front of each other, and I think especially with coaching, this is the coolest part of that, is when we are sharing our struggles, I think there's going to be aha moments in the rest of the Scrum team. Like, it's just, I'm not closing those sales and I'm like, something's missing in my invite. And then Nikki's going to be like, I just watched something on this. Here's a video. Girl, go watch this. And it's going to help each other out because we all have different strengths and we all have different little pockets in our business that we're amazing and little pockets that we're still working on us. And so this is just a way to really connect and bounce off of each other. And the whole idea of that little meeting is that we hear each other and we help each other out. That's the part I'm most excited for. So that's really it. That's the work I'm expecting of you guys this next 5 weeks. So that hopefully we have a whole bunch of diamonds popping and a whole bunch of $100 bonuses, because who wouldn't like that? With the whole Scrum thing, after you would do a sprint, you would do a sprint review. So I'm still like not sure with this again, how much of the review we're going to do, because normally that's like a check-in on the velocity, that's see where we really are. And so I don't feel like we'll need that for this specific sprint, because we already have a deadline we have to lock into, unless it's just like a gut check halfway through kind of thing, like, do we need to change the pace altogether? But if we're checking in every day, I don't think we're going to need a review, because it's not going to be done until it's done. But if you were doing this for, say, a coach sneak peek, and a week in, you have kind of a bare bones, but you're not sure if you like it, then this is what a review would be. You would kind of maybe do a mock one with just your PS coaches and see how they like it. Does that work for the team? Is it a functional piece? Is it enough info? Is it not? Because it could be good and done then, and you can move on to the next project. Or you're going to get great feedback, and you're really testing your product, and you know how to build upon it. So I think that review process is going to come when you're taking this in other ways and applying it to your business, but I'm not sure that we'll need it with a specific sprint. And then also with that, when it's all done, you do a sprint retrospective where you say, what did we do right? What could we do better? What could be made better? And what new process can we improve upon next time? So you really want to think about what new process can there be? And then the next sprint, you put in that new process. So it's just a way to grow and rapidly keep changing your velocity, because there are a million little gut checks along the way. Cool? All right, so any questions? Because now we're gonna kind of like workshop what we think are our action steps and kind of lay out our backlog of coach tasks that are specifically important to us for reaching Diamond, adding 5 coaches in 5 weeks. And that's our goal. So whatever gets us there. Anything? I feel like I zoomed through that. So are there any questions about Scrum specifically? Nobody? Okay, cool. Well, you guys.
I just posted one. I didn't know if you saw it. I asked, how do we know how many points each thing gets? And then what's the name of the book again?
It's The Art of Doing Twice the Work in Half the Time.
Oh, that's the name of it. Okay.
Yes.
You were just saying that.
No, that's the name of the book. So the way that you would know the points, if we did the points, is when you go to sit down for your group task, is you do point poker. And so everyone has like a card deck with just the numbers from the Fibonacci sequence. I don't know, I can't keep remembering that word. And so you, after you've made your backlog of tasks, you go and you list them. So you say, coach invite post. And then everyone throws down the number they think that is, of time it would take you to craft it, of the time it would take to make that project usable. And if everyone throws down a 3, then you say, cool, it's a 3, we're done. If someone throws down a 15 and someone else goes down a 3, then you ask the 15 their point. They argue about it, not argue, but like make their case for why they think it's a 15. Then everyone votes again until everyone's in the same place. So you collectively as a team decide how much effort a project is going to take with just the Fibonacci numbers, or they talk about, you could use dog breeds, whatever relative scale of size that gets you there. But the Fibonacci will give you a number, and the number will give you points, and the points will give you velocity, so that it's actually like graphable to see the trajectory you're on.
Is the velocity, is it adding up to 100%?
It's not 100%. It's just whatever your thing is. So any task could be any number of things. You're not saying that this is a ratio of like on a scale of 1 to 10. It's just this relative to this. So when you're looking at all your backlog, every list of thing, you're just deciding what's the biggest project, what's the smallest project, and then everything is relative. So it could be 1,000 points. It could be 20 points. It could be whatever. It's not a 1 to 100 thing. It's just how much work and time and effort does any one thing take. Add that all up. And then how much do you actually get done points-wise in a week or 2 weeks or whatever you're measuring.
So if the whole deal, the whole project is like 250 points, and you, in the week, you get 50, then the next week you want to get more than 50, or you want to just get closer to 250?
No, you want to get more than 50. So now you know your velocity is 50 points a week. But in that time of working, you might go back to your backlog and realize that there's things that can come off, or there's things that are going to need more time or value. So like that starting 250 might not be the points that you're actually working to. It might be less. It might be more. But it's just to know your velocity of how much you can get done so that you stay on track to keep getting faster and faster until it's finished. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really, I mean, it's cool, but it's a little bit hard to grasp. It's like cycle bonuses, right? Like once you get it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. But you kind of have to work it to totally understand it. So even I kind of just have like this grasp, but it's really movable. And that's the key, is that you're always checking in. Cool. All right. So I'm going to start writing on this board, and I want you guys to kind of name specifically, and if we need to like categorize, if we want to say like hit SC, well then that's like different tasks. So I want us to name the tasks, daily things that we could do to boost our business, to hit 5 coaches in 5 weeks, and to hit diamond rank. So for some of us, that's 12 coaches away. For some of us, that's 2. But I want to hear kind of all your things. And then for you, write down for yourself what's going to pertain to you. Because if it's 2 coaches, that's getting you there, but you want padding, like your things are going to be a little different. They might be weighted differently too, or on a different priority, just because maybe that's not what you need. Maybe what you need is getting emeralds. And so it's maybe you need a coach training to help you get there, kind of thing. All right. So Beth, give me something that we do.
What is that on your wall?
It's a dry erase thing.
Oh, it's like a sticker?
Yeah.
I was like, is that duct tape? How'd she get it in a circle?
They're like dry erase stickers my sister bought me forever ago, and I was like, I'm never going to use those. And then I was like, where did those go? They're so perfect for today.
That is perfect.
So we'll want to follow up with all our prospects, no matter where they are in the process, whether they're challengers or even if there are coaches, what they're doing to build to emerald or whatever.
Okay, follow up. Jessica. You guys want to just like spit at me? That's better because I can only see 3 people at a time. So we could just go rapid fire.
Did you say Jessica?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing that came to my mind is just invite new people.
Yeah.
Would you put a number on that, a day?
Yeah, absolutely. So could we break that one down? Because specifically, I mean, we want challengers, and challengers bring us coaches, but 5 weeks, is that enough time to have someone be a challenger and then be a coach? Probably not. So for this particular sprint, we might get more in depth with what this is. How many coach invites, and how are we inviting coaches, and what does that coach specific job look like? Does that make sense? So coach invites?
Yeah.
I'd also say then like public invites for coaches, like the sneak peek.
Yeah. So public coach post.
Would you do like jabs that go along with that then? Like if you know that you're going to invite, then for the week and a half, you need to be like building the storyline about coaching?
Yeah.
So this to do is not daily, right? It's to do in general.
So
right?
it's everything we'll need to do in the next 5 weeks to get us to our goal. But these might be daily actions. So for us specifically, some of our to-dos might be like in the to-do every single day, because there's something we do every single day. In that case, it might be like a movable Post-it, or maybe I just keep adding Post-its and it's 3 invites and then I'm done. And then the next day I start over and I put it back in my to-do list, because every day I need to invite 3 people, and it's going to be on my to-do. It's going to get in process, and then it's going to be done every day. So yeah, some of our stuff, it's going to move.
Okay.
What else?
create posts?
Yeah, just our normal post.
Ask help your current challengers that you're not waiting to start a group, that are in a group, help them get momentum, and then cheer them on, and then point out the ways they would be a great coach, and then invite them to a sneak peek or webinar. So it's like one overall theme.
Yeah, kind of like prime your current challengers.
Yeah, and then invite them to be a coach. Even past challengers. I think that's always I think sometimes people feel guilty like they messed up with past challengers. They didn't give them their all. And so they're like, that's done. But really, that's a really warm market. And those people trust you, even if they didn't give it their all. They probably feel guilty. They probably would like it if somebody saw the best in them,
Mm-hmm.
What about ask for referrals?
It's good. That's very Eric War. Hey, I don't know if this is for you, or hey, I know you had a great time in this group. Do you know anybody that might be interested?
I was on the TeamZ call last night, and the guy, he said that instead of asking for referrals, he asks for introductions. So he has them not only ask them to think of someone, but he's can you start a conversation between us, introduce me, or start a 3-way text or something. So it's actually completely opening up that that line of contact.
Not ambiguous.
I always struggle with that because, and then I think, should I push them to do it so that they can get into the coaching themselves, or should I ask for referrals from them? I don't know. I'm struggling with that right now.
It just depends. So usually, as far as coaching systems or people are asking for referrals, it's a last ditch when someone has said no. You go back to them and you say, hey, I know this isn't for you, but do you know anyone that I could help? Do you know anyone who could use health and fitness? Do you know anyone? So this is typically when we talk about it in coaching, it's suggested as a way to approach no's. But it is also good, like TeamZ even says, you hire rate the people that have been good people for you or have given you referrals before and they are clients. So you just have to see kind of how they are. Are they coming up with suggestions and sending you referrals? Then they should be a coach. If you're asking them for referrals and they just have like-minded people, but they're not super motivated to make that connection themselves, then it's all for you. Or you can even be if they gave you really great ones, wow, this person is perfect. You have an eye for finding the right people. Have you considered coaching? So it really just depends on the person. Cool. So what else? Oh no, of course my phone's dying.
This might be too minute, but you need to know where your people are placed. You need to understand your strategy and where you need.
Yeah.
You need to be checking your actives, your downline and who's going inactive and active every Thursday morning and making a plan.
Yeah. So you need to know your report. Sorry, I realize I'm talking too long. You need to know your downline.
And if somebody looks like they're going inactive or cancels, you need to, if they do looks like they canceled, you need to reach out to them and not be afraid, because they may have just had their credit card expired. They may be going on a trip, and they don't know they can postpone it. There's a million things. They may have a dairy allergy and they didn't realize there was vegan. So.
Yeah. Okay. So another one, just think of our vitals. You should be working out. So a workout and a shake.
I definitely think then the post of, I think Ashley mentioned it in the Thrive group of trying to work in your coaching business into your everyday posts. So really be diligent about that we're talking about it is a business of coaching. So you're getting it in people's minds. So I guess, I don't know how that would be a to do though.
I put that's kind of what I meant by the jabs.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that I'm doing this because something about coaching, or community, or, you know, just like setting that little,
Yeah.
making it like underlying.
Yeah. So like maybe just like say like, you know, a certain amount, like maybe one post a day that just has it in there.
Yeah.
It's not like an indirect, I guess, post.
Yeah.
Because I think those are really powerful, like especially on a psychological level. People don't realize they're being sold to, basically.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so on the skill side of things, are there skills we need to better in a 5-week time to support that? So
Leadership books like Built Tribes or John Maxwell. You should pump yourself full of that, because that will make you feel like a leader and speak like a leader and
John
attract.
Maxwell, is that what you said?
What?
You said John Maxwell?
And then Tribes. It's Seth Godin. That one really pumped me up.
Yeah, or even like podcasts. Like everyone's told me 1,000 times to listen to Shalene's podcast, but I don't even know how to listen to a podcast. So I guess I could force myself to.
Those took me a while. I will say on the Shay call, like Josh Coates is like, if you're listening to Shalene podcast, that's not your personal development. That's not what you like. That's great, but that's not really growing you. That's just like fun and her doing her thing kind of advice. And I think I have to agree with that. He talked about like really great business people, super successful. They have one thing that they get really, really good at. And when they have other ideas, they put them in a journal and they keep it aside until they have mastered that one thing and they have made it successful and they're living their lives and they've got their means, and then they go open up the next thing and they work on that idea only. So, you know, like someone like Shalene, she talks about a million different things. It'd be really easy to like get scattered too thin or have too many ideas. He's like, Beachbody coaches don't need to be web designers. You don't need to. You just need to do the 3 vitals. So that's really what we're trying to like break down as much as possible. Not to say that that's not great, but as far as this, I would say don't spend your time on a podcast like that.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So setting up tools. So for some of us, maybe you have this, but I'm going to take this real basic. Do you have the tools to do this? Do you have a tracker you can commit to? Do you need to make one? So I'm going to say trackers.
I have a good one, Lindsay. So there's a webinar every Thursday night. It's going on right now. And I noticed that there's a lot of people who don't have their pictures and their link for somebody that's going to the webinar to sign up immediately. So that's just adding an extra step of work to anybody that you send to the webinar. And there's instructions in the description panel of Thrive on how to do that. So that's
I totally tried that and couldn't get it to work.
Which part could you not get to work?
Like my picture, I had it all resized and everything, and I couldn't upload anything into the document.
Okay, so message me and remind me later.
I'll try it again tomorrow just to double check that I can't do it again. Sometimes I'm just airheaded.
No, yeah, just message me.
Simple glitches. Sometimes you just have to like open up edit first. Okay. And then tools like a sneak peek. Is Ashley's working for you? We're lucky that we have such a strong upline. There are all kinds of tools available to us, but is that our market? Is that our voice? Is that going to recruit us the kind of people that are going to hustle with us in these next however many days? So maybe you need your own sneak peek.
Adding new people to our cold market. That's something I definitely need to work on.
Yeah. So you need new friends. If we're sprinting right now, chances are you've got to expand your network.
Definitely.
That's a good way too, to not like be embarrassed about repeating yourself and to kind of be okay with like reinventing yourself. Not like in a drastic way, but like, heck, I'm going to talk about coaching, like Nikki said, once a day in a post, 3 times a day in a post, whatever, because I'm adding so many new people that I can be whoever I want to be, because it's not going to weird anybody out that I'm changing. It's just, that's how they see me.
Yeah. Cool. So I feel like we've touched some of the main things on really like the 3 vitals here. So I guess where that just took my mind is that our velocities might be a little different. So I would like to kind of, as your manager here, break down what this actually is for you in numbers to get to diamond. So if you can, like pull up your back office, if you don't know it offhand, I want you to look right now, take a minute, figure out exactly how many coaches that is you're going to need, because I want this written down and I want this on your to-do. I want it to be 20 coaches, and then it crosses off to 19, and then it crosses off to 18, and then it crosses off and then to do. This is your doing. It's your people you're talking to. They haven't signed up yet, and then when they do, you put them over here. So I think that's a big one. Like, I know for me, I need like that ticker of like, here's exactly how many coaches I need. And it might change, because I'm hoping in this that someone steps up in my downline and I don't need to build a whole diamond, but I have to be prepared for either. And that's why there's those check-ins of, okay, what's really important now, and what's my priority, and where am I placing next, so that it's just like, go. It's already thought through. You just have to do it. Okay. Does anybody know specifically and want to go first?
Go first and what? Sorry.
Saying actually what yours is. I want to know what people's what the work actually is for each person. Does that make sense?
Work.
Like, Jessica, you have no coaches right now. One coach. What do you have?
Yeah. Well, I guess I have one.
Okay. So to get to diamond, you need 11 coaches.
Okay. That's scary.
No, you can do that. They don't have to all be business builders either.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
Just people. And that's assuming you're taking action and you're building your emeralds. But if you weren't, if like in that time that you get your first 5 coaches, you get 2 people that build emeralds for you, then you don't need 11. That's knock off 4. I'm stuck in math, but I want to say that's 8. And there you go. So it's not as hard as it sounds, but you want to look at the bigger picture, because when you shoot for bigger, you fall where you need, basically. All right. Beth?
I have 4, but my sister has 1. So
Okay.
to make my sister emerald, I need 1. So then I need 7, right?
I am so bad at math. Sure.
I have 4, and then my sister has 1 personally sponsored. So that means she only needs 1 more. So I need 4, 5, 6, 7. Because if I build Mark out,
Yes.
I need
Perfect.
7.
Who's next? Leslie?
I have just gotten started, so I don't have any coaches yet. So I need 2 for emerald and 12 for diamond then.
Well, it's 12 total. So 12 is your 8 and building 2 emeralds.
Yes.
Yeah, she's saying if she wants just her first goal getting to emerald is 2.
Yes. Gotcha. Okay. Courtney?
I have 2 personally sponsored coaches right now.
Yeah, it's not letting me go. Who's next? Haley?
I have 4 personally sponsored, but one of them is inactive. So I want to talk to her and see if she wants to become active again. And then I will have a better idea of how many I need.
Okay. So we need 9.
Yes.
Cool. Dara?
Hi, I need 2 coaches to get to emerald, and there's a total 12 to diamonds. Yeah.
This actually makes me really excited that we also kind of have big numbers, because then we'll all just be like on the same pace. You know, if there was more of us that were close, then it's like we're seeing 2 different paces. This is awesome. Sean?
Do.
I heard you for a second and it stopped. You need to? Awesome. Totally doable. Knock that out right now.
Yeah, you're going to get that tomorrow.
All right. Ashley, are you going for the 5, just the $100 bonus?
I don't know. It's tricky with me because I have to get it all in the same business center to get it.
Right.
I might. I'm still trying to figure out like what strategy I want. And I think yeah, sure. You want to do that, Sam? 5 in 5 weeks in the first business center?
The first business center?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Lori,
Date night.
I know you're close.
Well, I just checked my back office and it says I have 17, but I don't know what's that.
She needs 2 emeralds.
So you just need 4 people for emeralds.
Yeah.
And Lori, I'm just telling you this right now. Anybody coach that you add, you need to put them on your left.
Okay.
Okay.
Nikki, are you diamond right now?
No, I'm not diamond right now. I'm emerald.
Okay.
So I'm kind of confused because I'm looking at my back office and I have a lot of coaches that like I just signed and they're showing up as inactive right now, though I don't think they should be, so I think I'm confused.
Who is it?
Hold on. Like one, I know she postponed her. I know why she's inactive because she had to postpone her shake just a couple weeks because she didn't finish it. So it's saying I have 5 active, so I guess I can figure the rest out later.
7?
Yeah. So I'll need 7, I guess.
Cool. Debbie?
I need it 2 for emerald, and I might have it by tomorrow. Cross fingers.
Woo! Awesome. Kelly?
I need 2.
Just 1 emerald? That's all you need?
Well, I need both emeralds, but one of them coach and she's close to emerald, so hopefully that works out soon, and then an emerald on the other side.
Cool.
Nikki, you only need 6 BT dubs.
Kelly? She there? Kelly?
Kelly Mazesco. She's kissing her husband right now. Sorry.
That's okay. Rhonda?
I need 7 more.
Was that Kelly or Rhonda? Was that
Rhonda.
okay? Awesome. Okay. So break that down right now because we can go faster than this, but at least for yourself to set the pace, divide that by 5, and that's how many coaches you need every single week. So that makes it a little bit less scary when you think of it that way. But also the whole point of this is that like every week we're checking in, we're going to do our vitals, and we're going to check in with each other every single day that we did them and that we're actually doing it and what numbers we're doing. We're tracking it with a tracker, and then we're going to see after a week, did I get that 1 coach I needed this week? Did I get the 2 that I needed this week? Did I get the 3? And then that's your velocity essentially. And then you can look at those numbers again. Well, I only did 5 invites. Now let's do 10. Let's see if next week we can double it. And so we're going to hopefully get to diamond faster than we think we're going to get there right now. Does that make sense, everybody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like muted. No one wants to talk. You seem a little dead. 9 o'clock at night is tough. It's not my brain hour. Now like 2 o'clock during nap time is totally my time. And my brain's just like, yes. All right. Well, Ashley, I think you can stop recording.